Fellas, look, very promising start in Bahrain. I was pleased with it, but I really want us to kick on now, and we've got to beat these Red Bulls, guys. We've got to beat them. No, I don't know how you're going to do it. Just drive faster, I guess, guys. That's why I pay you the big bucks. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. It is the second race of the fourth season. It is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We had a pretty good Bahrain, certainly by previous season standards, where we were third and fourth. Piastri in his first race for the Ferrari ahead of Sainz, Giovinazzi even, and well, Red Bull were first and second, so that's not great. AlphaTauri look like they're a decent car this year, and if we look at the pit stops, because this never happens, look at that, nosebleed stuff in 7th place with a point, wonderful stuff. Now, we do have one upgrade for the car this weekend, and that is we have got the new side pods. Now, if you remember, this was purely just taking weight out of the car, so they've each got one. If they ruin that, they go back to the heavy stuff, but that should help us, and it's a high-speed track as well, Saudi, so taking the weight out will hopefully help them on that front as well. So that is that. We're into the new R&D period, so we've got chassis, front wing, side pod, and suspensions all on the way, and manufacturing, there is more of the new side pods coming as well, and that's the old chassis, I think. Why am I building chassis if I'm got a new one? Anyway, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing there, but I'm sure it made sense at the time. Let's go and have a quick look at what we're doing here. It is Saudi, so we don't expect any rain. We're not getting any rain. There's the circuit map. Red is Sector 1, blue Sector 2, yellow Sector 3. We can see there just lots of high-speed corners, medium-speed corners, and a couple of traction zones as well. So top speed, acceleration, medium and high-speed cornering is what is required. Now, it's a cheap stop here, and if you get a safety car, it's almost a no-brainer at 14 seconds. The expected strategy is a one-stop, which it typically is, and we can see there that the soft tyre, not a great deal quicker than the medium, but it is quite a, you don't really want to be on a hard tyre, and there's not a high degradation rate either, so yeah, pretty much it is just a one-stop. Red Bull always win here, so let's hope we can break up that little monopoly they have, and our performance target to reach Q2. You know, I'd really wish sometimes the board would have a little bit better, you know, we're better than just Q2, surely. Can you imagine if Ferrari reached Q2 and everyone's like, yeah, well done, that's a great result for us. That's ridiculous. Anyway, qualifying, we need both in the top 6 to get our money, and we need one in the top 6 to get our money in this race, and that is all of that. So let's head off to Saudi. And there we go, confirmation, there is no rain expected. So I'll go do free practice, and I will see you shortly for qualifying 1. Alright, so free practice is done, and it's gone not too badly, I would say. 4th and 8th in FP1. Verstappen obviously top, but that's where we kind of expect him to be. FP2, we were 4th and 8th again, so consistent like that. And then FP3, now I did do with Giovinazzi, he was quickest. I just wanted to see, because I don't tell him to push the tyres or use the ERS or anything like that. So I just thought, well, what would happen if I put them on aggressive and put him on deploy? And he was fastest. So I don't know exactly, well, obviously we don't know what, you know, how the Verstappen or other cars were using their batteries and whatnot. But the difference too between him and Piastri, now Piastri already had his setup nailed, so he only just did, I just used the tyres that I wanted to hand back so that we didn't end up with the wrong tyres going back. But all, you know, a second and not far off a second and a half difference between using the battery and pushing the tyres and not. So yeah, that is not all Giovinazzi, I imagine. A lot of that is is batteries and car and tyre use and whatnot. So yeah, that's promising. I'd say that we're fastest with that. But let's go and find out exactly where we stand in qualifying. And we can see here both setups absolutely smack on. And yeah, let's go and do Q1. Hopefully, no need to come back and show you a second run. So, absolutely smashed it. 1 run, 3rd and 7th. Wonderful stuff. But look at the gaps between, it looks like they went a bit quicker second run, but there was under a 10th between sort of the top 7 for a while there. So, yeah, really, really good to see. Looks as though the Mercedes and Leclerc are going to be competition for us in this one, though. Alright, we are on board with Piastri for his second run. He got really badly held up into the last corner by, I think it was Leclerc. Now, what we don't need him to do is get held up on his second run here, because he's currently 15th. We are obviously quicker than that. Giovinazzi just did 1 run on the old set of tyres, sitting up there in 3rd. No need for him to come back out, but we do need Piastri to hopefully not get blocked here. We can get that car out of the way, and thank you very much. Green first sector, as you would expect it to be. And hopefully, like I say, he will go and finish off this lap. Now, it's promising that it's green through the first sector as well, because he didn't actually get held up, like, right at the end of the lap. So, this is the sector where we should see him go, or make up the most times. It was literally into this corner that he got badly held up. And I'm expecting to see him put himself up somewhere near Giovinazzi. Let's see what happens. Only 8, but it's enough. So both cars through. He was 3/10 slower than he was in Q1, which is troubling. That time would have put him, well, only 1 position up in truth. But anyway, Q3. Let's see where we're going to be starting. Alright, we are on board with Giovinazzi. He is currently sitting 2nd. If we go back to Piastri, he is 6th. Now, Giovinazzi had 2 sets of new tyres he could use and still keep 2 fresh for the race. Piastri's first run was on a used set, so that maybe explains the 3/10 between them.
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
But let's see. George Russell hasn't gone any quicker, or has he? Let's see what we get here. Where's the... There it is there. So Russell did indeed go quicker. Giovinazzi is not going quicker. Piastri is. Piastri is currently 7th as well. We need cars to stay out of our way, please and thank you. Yeah, Giovinazzi's not on a lap, unfortunately, and Piastri is going slower in the middle sector. So that was looking so good. It's all Red Bull front row, and it's not looking as though we're going to be able to break that. Giovinazzi will stay 3rd. Piastri will go up 1 to 6th and split the Mercedes. So 3rd and 6th is where we start from. We can race from there, as they say. Piastri is back on the pace. I don't know what happened to him in Q2, but he got through, so that's the main thing. Alright, let's go and talk strategy. So, it's pretty much a slam dunk one stop, isn't it? And I think you're probably better off looking for an undercut, in truth. So, we'll do that with Giovinazzi. I mean, it's early in the season. We probably do just want to be as sensible as we can here. So, we might do the same thing with both cars. And, yeah... It's a little boring, but I think it's that sort of track where it's a bit like Vegas. We know it's a one stop. I think if you try and get too creative with it, you're just going to end up costing yourself time. So let's just go with what we know. No, you know what? I've talked myself into just splitting it a little bit. So yeah, that way if a safety car comes out, we don't get both cars screwed by it. So let's split it. Let's go one each way. Alright, welcome back. Big thank you to all the channel members and Patreons as they scroll across the bottom there. Let's see what we can get done here. We'll jump on board with Giovinazzi. There's a lot of medium tyres. This looks like Red Bull have split their cars as well. We've got Leclerc up the inside of us. Ideally, we don't want him getting past us. It doesn't look like he has. Piastri, it looks like he's held position as well. We haven't quite got that done yet. I tell you what, that AlphaTauri's no slouch in a straight line. Now, of course, we know from Saudi Arabia there's the 3 DRS zones, and it really is just a matter of staying in the train. Piastri looks as though he is doing just that as well. And yeah, well, we'll see how it develops. It's a 50-lap race, but it is quite a quick lap time, obviously because it's just all fast corners and straights. So it will tick by pretty quickly. And we've got another lap, of course, before DRS is activated. So we might... What I don't want to do is get caught out, but I don't think we want to waste our ERS this early in the race. We'll wait for DRS and, yeah, use it that way, I think. But Russell on the soft tyre is checking out. It is going to be important, I think, for Giovinazzi to not get stuck behind Leclerc and Verstappen on their medium tyres, but it looks as though that's exactly what's going to happen. And yeah, there's not many, to be fair. There's not many, especially at the front, starting on the soft tyre. So Giovinazzi does need to get stuff done here fairly quickly. And with a little bit of DRS assistance, we have overtaken Charles Leclerc. So Giovinazzi up to 3rd now. And a very similar move, Piastri, DRS assisted, gets past Lando Norris. That moves him up into, that'll be 5th or 6th? It's 5th, I think, isn't it?
And Oscar Piastri was on the straight.
And again, another move, DRS assisted, Piastri this time on Leclerc, moving him up into 4th. So we've got Red Bull 1-2, Ferrari 3-4 once again. Actually, no, Leclerc is, not Leclerc, Giovinazzi is actually ahead of Verstappen right now. So, yeah, so it's Red Bull, Ferrari as things stand. Alright, so 10 laps, we're on lap 10. We're on lap 10, I think, and we are currently second and fourth. Giovinazzi is sort of going a little bit back and forth with Verstappen, but crucially, just chipping away at the lead of George Russell, which is nice, but we're on board with Piastri. Now we're trying to break free of the DRS. We've got a yellow flag. Is that going to be anything? It doesn't look like it is. Norris is locked up, so it takes a little bit of pressure off the back of us. But doesn't really change too much. Otherwise, Piastri has hopefully just broken the DRS to Leclerc so that we can drive up the road from him. Though we don't actually have any battery, so that might be a slight problem. But yeah, it's going okay. We look like we have the best race pace right there, well, apart from maybe Verstappen on a medium tyre. But we're almost into the DRS with Russell. Now, what that's going to allow Giovinazzi to do, we'll start to conserve, we'll save battery and fuel, and just sort of sit in his DRS, let him tow us around, then we'll have a big push right before our pit stop. And then Piastri, yeah, I mean, he really does just need to, I wonder if we could push those tyres a little bit. We need to try and get him away from Leclerc if we can, so we're not towing him around, even though he is on a medium tyre as well. And yeah, just kind of see if we can get him up to the back of this lead group at the same time. Because Piastri on a soft tyre at the end is in a completely different situation to Giovinazzi, who really at this point does need to, yeah, does need to get a move on. But we'll harvest him up here, and hopefully he'll start and not lose the back. If you can do that for me, Gio, don't lose DRS, mate. You've worked so hard to get there. Anyway, hopefully he's not about to do that. He has just lost it. Well, we'll try and conserve something at some point, I suppose. Alright, so we caught George Russell briefly, got into his DRS, and then he took off up the road. So now we're going to try harvest up behind Verstappen. And, yeah, Verstappen's in a very good place in this race, given that he's going to go onto the soft tyre. So that is slightly concerning. What's also concerning is the fact that Russell just put 2.5 seconds on us in 2 laps when he kind of needed to. So, yeah, that's all. It's just all a little bit depressing. Piastri's in a bit of a world of his own. He's pulled out 2 seconds on Leclerc, so we're just saving him some fuel right now, getting that to where it needs to be. But, yeah, through these twisty bit, the Red Bull can kind of just drive away from us. Verstappen's just done that again there. So, I mean, we've got to save a little bit of fuel. We can push the tyres a little bit closer to the pit stop, and I'm sure we'll be able to get back, you know, back up behind Verstappen, given that he's on the medium tyre. But we are on aging softs at this point as well, so it's going to be 3rd and 4th again, isn't it? Alright, so we have caught up Verstappen. We're coming up to our pit window, so we've been pushing the tyres on quite a bit, so it's promising that we have been able to catch him. Obviously, second stint, he's going to have the softs, so like I say, it's not a great situation to be in necessarily, but we could potentially get him here. It's our optimal lap to stop, so we're going to be coming in this lap as well. Piastri is still in his little Piastri island, all on his own. But yeah, so we'll see what we get, and what we could maybe do, if we can stay with him through here, we might try and harvest up a little bit of our battery, because the DRS is going to pull us along. If we have a full battery, we might be able to produce a little bit of an undercut or something. We're very much flirting with going out of the DRS, but we'll stick with it. We've just stayed in. So yeah, let's see what we get. We, of course, are relying on a good Ferrari pit stop here as well, which is always a bit scary to be doing, isn't it? But here we go. We're at least keeping the pressure on. It's only 3 seconds to George Russell. Now, might we be able to do a bit of an undercut here? It all relies on this. Come on, off, on, go. 2.7. We'll take that, won't we? And let's see where this brings us out. Hopefully not into traffic. That's the concern that we would potentially have. And no, we have come out in a pretty good spot, it looks like. So we don't want to burn up these tyres too early on here. But what we would like to do, I think, is if we deploy and see if we can get a bit of an undercut on George Russell, or worst case scenario, come out sort of right behind him in his DRS and sort of use that to our advantage, then let him tow us around and go from there. But I don't know if Russell's coming in this lap. What are his tyres like? 35%. It could be this lap, could be next lap. It's not this lap, which is probably a good thing. He's doing a 34.0. Now this lap for us is going to be a little bit misleading because it's a pit stop lap. But the next one is the one, isn't it? We need about 2 seconds here if we can get it. Surely he's going to come in this lap. Surely he is. And yeah, we'll go from there. You'll see there have been some of the soft tyre runners at the start have come in, but they're not really in our race necessarily. So yeah, didn't do a good first sector, which is a shame. It's very Giovinazzi owing to sort of have the pressure on and not deliver. Middle sector was a purple sector, so that's more promising. And Russell is indeed in the pits now. We could do with a DRS here or something happening to the cars in front or anything really. Russell is moving in the pit lane. We might have got him here, you know. We might have got him. There he is right there. Oh, and he's come out just in front of these cars. And now we are desperate. Absolutely desperate to get past them and stay close to him. But I don't think we're going to be that lucky, are we? Ah, that was split seconds from him coming out right in front, behind these guys, or even in the middle of them, and instead we're going to get stuck in this DRS train, and he's going to drive off into the distance. Ah, that is just fractions of seconds of difference, isn't it? That's a good overtake. It's both Alpine, so we've got one. If we can get the second one here and limit the damage, it's already 2.5 seconds though. So it's going to be, I forgot Sanchez in an Alpine. It's going to be this is where he can let himself down too, isn't it? He had to get that overtake done there and he couldn't do it. Oh well. Alright, we are bringing Piastri in this lap. The reason for that is he's getting caught a little bit by Perez and Leclerc. Now they've got a little bit better tyres and they're just, I think, catching us at the end of the stint. So we'll bring him in this lap. We'll just absolutely nail the tyres. Obviously, there's no need to save anything. What we don't need to happen is end up getting stuck in a DRS battle for a lap or two. We'll just bring him in, get the soft tyres on early, and then hopefully, you know, we'll get an undercut and be well clear of them anyway when they come out of the pits. So let's hope we get another good Ferrari stop here for Oscar. Come on, off, on, go. 2.7 again. Thank you very much. And we'll see where he comes out. Now, Giovinazzi has been a couple of seconds a lap faster on his new soft tyres. So, we were 5 seconds away from Max, who's on basically doing the same race as Piastri. Now, let's see if we can do similar sort of lap times. Max is probably staying out for a few laps more yet. What we can't do is push these tyres particularly hard, of course. So, yeah, we'll see. We're not going to know if we're doing a personal best sector, not necessarily pushing the tyres that hard. So, come on, Oscar. Let's see. I mean, Oscar may well catch and pass Giovinazzi here, and I think we're going to do like we did last year, don't we? Whoever's in front in the championship, we've got to favour them, which is Oscar right now. I probably favour Oscar anyway, to be honest, because he's Australian-Italian, so he still counts. But yeah, but Giovinazzi's faster than Max right now, but you'd expect him to be. There's a big difference in their medium tyres. The issue is going to come, of course, when Max comes out on his soft tyres and just absolutely blows by. But anyway, here comes Verstappen now. So maybe we could have gone a little bit harder with Piastri, but he won't have been out there long enough. So 31.7 that lap for Giovinazzi with an overtake, so probably a bit of DRS assistance as well. Piastri's done a 32.0 straight out of the box, but not close enough to Verstappen, and that is probably him just there, isn't it? Now, Leclerc has not stopped yet. No, so Leclerc is not actually in the race. But we're 16 seconds off George Russell on a soft tyre, 3 seconds behind Max. So we caught 2 seconds up in that one lap with the undercut. So let's see what happens. Safety car sometime soon would be interesting, I would say. So in the category of things that weren't really supposed to happen, and that I wasn't expecting to happen, was Perez driving past Piastri. Now, I'll be honest, I got the fright of my life when I saw Mercedes coming past because I was riding on board with Piastri. And, yeah, I didn't even realise he was close. But that's okay. We'll charge up our batteries here. We'll save up our petrol. And then we'll sort of unleash that and get back past him. We have him covered for pace. So it's not a massive concern. He's also on older tyres, so we've got a bit of an undercut on us, I think. If we have a look here, these tyres are not going to make the end. He's absolutely destroying them, trying to stay in front of us right now. So, yeah, no concerns whatsoever. We may have just dropped out of DRS. That's okay. We'll just under-harvest and we'll catch him up again quite quickly. So, yeah, that's not a problem. Giovinazzi's doing okay. We had a lap where we were very close to Verstappen. You can see that lap, obviously, he pulled in quite a bit. Let's have a look at this lap at 31.6. So, Verstappen is going to catch us. But, yeah, it's... yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much we can do. It's 5 seconds. I mean... We're just on older, harder tyres, so it's going to be difficult. Piastri's done enough fuel save for now. The other thing is we are going to have to save some more fuel with Giovinazzi at some point. But we'll hold off as long as we can in case we get a safety car just to try and keep track position. But yeah, it's not going too badly. Perez is as I said, we're not worried about it because he's destroyed his tyres to get where he is. And we've got 7 seconds back to Leclerc. So... it's going to be at least, I'd say, 3rd and 4th. Yeah, I can't see it being anything other than 3rd and 4th, unfortunately. So, the inevitable has happened. Verstappen has caught and then passed Giovinazzi. We'll do our best to try and stay with him, maybe get tagged along a little bit. Maybe his soft tyres wear out, but in truth, it's wishful thinking. So, yeah. Alright, so we are just coming around to start the final lap. The Red Bulls are already on it, and it's going to be 3rd and 4th, as I suspected. I thought maybe Piastri could catch Giovinazzi. In fairness of Giovinazzi, he's done fairly well. You can see on the lap time, 0.6 of a second. Piastri is reeling him in, but we did do a really big push lap to get fastest lap with Piastri to get that bonus point for the team as much as anything. And... yeah, I think that's just taken the edge out of his tyres, so he's not really been able to catch them. So we're 10 seconds off the lead. It's going to be quite... this is quite close, actually. Let's jump off board here and see. He's coming to the last corner, and Verstappen has nicked it from George Russell on the last lap at the last corner. What a bugger. You'd be so annoyed, wouldn't you? But here we go. It's Giovinazzi. He's going to get on the podium, his first podium of the year. Piastri's going to trail him home, not too far back. But we've halved the deficit. It was 15 seconds. Well, we haven't halved it, but now it's 10. And we are the second best team in Formula 1 again. So there we go. 15 points for Gio. It's 13 points for Piastri with the fastest lap. And yeah, it's just kind of what it is, isn't it? So the drivers' standings, it is Russell equal with Verstappen. And then we've got Piastri a point ahead of Giovinazzi thanks to that fastest lap. And yeah, Charles Leclerc is there in 5th. I think its top 6 have been the same in both races, it looks like then. So that doesn't bode particularly well for the season. Hopefully it'll mix itself up a little bit. And Red Bull, well, it's already looking like they're first and we're second, isn't it? Do we get another pit stop point? Oh, do we? What? We get 3 pit stop points. What a season this is already. Magnificent stuff from the Ferrari pit crew. And we are still 7th, but equal 6. Let's call us equal 6. That's fantastic. So this is potentially big news as well. The wind tunnel upgrade has been completed. So that's going to cost us more money, but it is going to obviously help with the upgrades. In all seriousness, if we have pit stops that we can rely upon, that's going to make a massive difference, isn't it? How many times last season was it, we lost time in the pits, came out behind slower cars, and just lost the Red Bulls that way. So long may it continue. Let's hope that we've overcome our pit problems with the Ferrari team. But that's it for today. Next up, it is the Australian Grand Prix, my home race, of course, Piastri's home race. And let's hope we have a good one. I don't think there'll be anything new on the car because we're not going to have time to do it. Mini coming second in Formula 2. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll obviously try our best, but nothing there is going to be ready. We might have... Oh, we already had the new side pods on, didn't we? So no, there'll be nothing new for Australia. Anyway, that's okay. We'll get them anyway. Take care.